Here's something most style videos won't tell you. After 45, the wrong hat color can quietly undo an otherwise great outfit. Not the wrong style of hat, the wrong color. You could have a solid look, good-fitting polo, clean chinos, a pair of shoes that actually make sense, and one hat in the wrong shade shifts the whole thing off balance. It's hard to name exactly why, but it's easy to notice. So that's what this video is about. I'm going to walk through the hat colors that genuinely work well for men in their mid-40s and beyond. The ones that are easy to wear, the ones that actually play well with gray and salt and pepper hair, the ones that make a casual outfit feel more pulled together. And at the end, I'll cover the colors worth leaving behind. If you're a man over 45 who cares about looking good without overthinking it every morning, stick around. Let's get into it. Why hat color matters more than you think. Before I get into specific colors, let me explain why hat color is worth paying attention to. Because a lot of guys treat it as an afterthought. They'll be very deliberate about a jacket or a pair of shoes, then just grab whatever hat is sitting on the shelf. The thing is, a hat sits right next to your face. That makes its color one of the most visible decisions in any outfit. It directly affects how your skin tone reads, how your hair comes across, and whether the overall look feels coherent or slightly off. And after 45, a few things change. Hair gets lighter, gray comes in, salt and pepper sets. Your face has more definition. What looked natural near your face at 35 doesn't always land the same way at 48. Colors that worked then can now feel too sharp, too heavy, or just out of place. So a hat color that works well for men over 45 needs to do a few things. Sit in harmony with your hair and skin tone, connect naturally with the clothes you already own, and add a sense of ease to your appearance, not compete with it. At this point in life, the best hat color isn't the one that stands out the most. It's the one that makes the whole look feel like it came together naturally. Rules for choosing hat colors after 45. Before I walk you through the 5 specific colors, here are 3 principles worth keeping in mind. These apply to any hat you pick up, not just the ones I'm about to mention. First, lean toward muted, not bright. Your hat doesn't need to carry the outfit. Colors like navy, charcoal, olive, brown, taupe, these aren't safe in a boring way. They're intentional, and at this stage, an intentional choice reads a lot better than a loud one. Second, pick colors that connect to what's already in your closet. If your everyday wardrobe runs on navy, gray, white, olive, denim, and brown, your hat should feel like it belongs to the same world. When everything in an outfit speaks the same visual language, the whole thing just clicks, and you spend less time second-guessing yourself. Third, the right color should add maturity, not pull away from it. Some colors look great in a store. On a man in his late 40s or 50s, the same color can read as trying to look younger. That's not the goal here. The goal is to look like someone who's settled into his style. Because that, honestly, is a much better look. If this kind of content is useful to you, hitting subscribe means you won't miss the next one. I keep these practical and to the point. 5 best hat colors for men over 45. 1. Navy. Navy is the starting point for most men, and honestly, it earns that reputation. It's one of the most reliable colors in a casual wardrobe, and on a hat, it carries the same reliability. It looks clean and put together in a way that doesn't require any effort to explain. And in direct sunlight, a navy hat tends to look sharper than black. It has real depth without the weight. It works with a well-fitted polo, an Oxford shirt, or a simple white or gray tee. Pairs naturally with chinos in beige, gray, or olive, with dark denim, with loafers, leather sneakers, boots. There's very little in a casual wardrobe that navy doesn't sit comfortably next to. For hair, it's especially good if you've got black going gray, salt and pepper, or lighter silver tones. It doesn't compete with the hair. It just holds its own beside it. The overall impression is calm, grounded, trustworthy. A man who wears navy well doesn't need to work for anyone's attention. If you're starting from scratch and want one hat color that covers most situations, navy is almost always the right place to start. 2. Charcoal, dark gray. Charcoal is the one I'd specifically point toward if your hair has gone gray or silver. It's softer than black, more refined than a mid-gray, and it has a quality that not a lot of colors have. It harmonizes with silver hair rather than fighting it. Where pure black can create a harsh contrast against silver temples or a gray beard, charcoal just sits alongside naturally. It pairs well with knit polos, overshirts, lighter jackets, and dark denim. Really comes into its own in the fall and winter. Throw it over a wool layer or a heavier shirt, and it looks like you thought about it, even if you didn't spend much time on it at all. The feel it gives off, steady, considered, like a guy who knows what works for him. That's a good thing to project. For men with gray hair, charcoal tends to do more for the face than any other hat color, including black. 3. Olive is the option if you want a little more personality without anything feeling forced. It's not a neutral the way navy or charcoal is. It has a distinct quality, but it never reads as trying too hard. It's grounded, it's practical, and it holds up across most skin tones without skewing young or athletic. Works well with white, cream, navy, brown, and denim, a natural fit with a field jacket and overshirt, a casual polo. You can wear it through spring, fall, and mild winter without it ever feeling out of place. It's one of the most underused everyday hat colors for men over 45, and I'd encourage more guys to try it. One thing worth mentioning, stay in the deeper, earthier end of the olive range. If it starts going bright or yellow-green, it loses what makes it work. Dusty, a little muted, that's where you want to be. Olive gives you personality without noise. That's a harder thing to find than it sounds. 4. Brown, dark brown, chocolate. Brown is probably the most overlooked hat color for men in this age range, and it genuinely shouldn't be. A dark brown or chocolate hat brings warmth and depth that no other color on this list quite matches. It has a classic quality that feels earned rather than trendy. It's particularly strong in fall. Pairs well with beige, cream, forest green, navy, and earth tones. Connects naturally to suede shoes, leather boots, and brown leather accessories. If your outfit already has warm tones in it, a dark brown hat tends to pull everything together in a way that just looks considered and intentional. With gray or silver hair, brown adds warmth to the face in a way that reads really well. The overall impression is classic, grounded, and tasteful, without feeling old-fashioned. A lot of guys stick to navy and gray and leave it there. Brown is worth trying. It often does something those colors can't. 5. Stone, taupe, muted beige. This one earns its place for warmer months and relaxed daytime settings. Stone and taupe are lighter without being bright. They sit in that range where the hat doesn't feel heavy, but it still has enough substance to look intentional. That's not as easy to achieve as it sounds. They pair naturally with white, navy, olive, and light gray. Linen shirts, cotton pieces, the kind of easy summer outfits that benefit from a hat that doesn't draw too much attention. A solid option for travel and weekends when a darker color would feel like too much. One thing to keep in mind, you want the dusty, cooler end of this range. Stone rather than sand, taupe rather than tan. A yellow-heavy beige tends to flatten a complexion. Stay muted and you're in good shape. For hair, this works especially well with bright silver or white. The harmony is easy, and the overall effect is clean and relaxed, polished without looking like you tried. Quick question before we move on. Which of these 5 do you actually reach for most? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and I'm genuinely curious where most of you land. What actually works with gray and salt and pepper hair? Now that we've gone through the 5 colors, I want to get specific about something that comes up a lot for men in this age group, because it doesn't get nearly enough attention in men's style content for guys over 45. Gray hair changes the equation a bit. Not in a bad way. For men who wear it well, gray hair is genuinely a strong look. But it does affect how color behaves near your face, and it's worth being clear about that. The 3 colors that consistently work best alongside gray or salt and pepper hair are charcoal, navy, and a deeper muted olive, if you want something lighter, stone, or dusty taupe. The reason these work is that they don't try to outshine the gray. They sit beside it comfortably. The result is a look that feels balanced rather than forced. On the other end, bright red, electric blue, orange tones, neon, anything with a lot of saturation. These tend to create a contrast that doesn't serve the hair well. Your hair ends up looking washed out, and the hat looks like it belongs on someone else. The colors around gray hair should support it, not pull focus away from it. Gray hair can be one of the best things a man has going for him stylistically. as long as the colors around it know how to let it breathe. Colors to avoid if you want to look refined, not loud. Knowing what works is useful. Knowing what to leave behind is equally useful. Here are the colors and color situations worth reconsidering. Bright red. It reads as sporty and high energy, which isn't inherently wrong, but it's hard to carry in a refined, casual look for men over 45 without it pulling focus in the wrong direction. If red is something you're drawn to, burgundy or oxblood gives you the warmth with a lot more depth and a lot less noise. Royal blue, electric blue. There's a lot of energy in this color, more than most casual outfits need. It sits comfortably in an athletic context, less so in a mature casual one. Navy does everything electric blue is trying to do, but with more control and less effort. Neon or highly saturated colors. The hat becomes the entire outfit, which is rarely the goal. These colors tend to flatten the quality of everything else you're wearing. If you're going for a look that feels put together, high saturation usually works against that. Pure black in casual daytime settings. This one isn't a hard rule. Black can work. But in a casual daytime context, it often feels heavier than the situation calls for. Against gray or silver hair, the contrast can read as a little severe. Charcoal almost always does the same job and does it better. Logo-heavy or multicolor sports hats. This is less about the color itself and more about the message it sends. A bold logo in 3 contrasting colors reads as fandom, not style. If you love your team, that's great. But for everyday wear, a cleaner hat is going to serve you better. How to build a 3-hat color system for everyday life. Let me bring this down to something simple and practical. You don't need a lot of hats. You need 3 colors that cover the different situations in your life. And that's genuinely enough. 1 dark, reliable option, navy or charcoal. This is the hat you reach for without thinking. Pairs with almost everything, works year-round, fits most casual situations. When you're not sure, this is your answer. 1 color with a little more character, olive or dark brown. Same level of refinement, but with more personality. Reach for this one when you want the outfit to feel a little more considered, or when navy has been doing all the work lately. 1 lighter option for warmer days, stone, taupe, or muted beige. Summer, weekend mornings, travel. When a darker hat would feel heavier than the moment calls for. Those 3 colors handle coffee runs, errands, casual dinners, day trips, seeing friends. Pretty much the full range of everyday life. Simple, functional, and each one doing its job well. You don't need more hats, you need the right ones. After 45, a great hat isn't the one that gets noticed first. It's the one that makes the rest of your outfit look like it always belonged together. The right color does that without drawing attention to itself. And that's kind of the whole point. That's a wrap on this one. Hope it was useful. The best hat colors for men over 45 don't compete for attention. They support the man wearing them. What color do you actually wear most? Navy, charcoal, olive, brown, something else entirely? Drop it in the comments. And if this video was worth your time, a like helps more guys find it. See you in the next one.